Welcome back, everyone, to Ferris Sports Update. Time to talk men's basketball now, and another big week. Congratulations, Coach Bill Sall with us, and Coach, 2 more wins to finish off a 5-game homestand unbeaten.
That was really fantastic, Rob. Both nights I thought our guys played extremely well, and again, 6 in a row at this time of the year is fantastic.
Talk about those 6 games in a row. It started at Northern Michigan, your last road game back in mid-January, and first half did not play well at Northern Michigan, but since that halftime speech, it seems like your team has rolled on.
I don't know if it was a halftime speech or not, but I will say this, that second half we really started to learn to play as a team, and really how we needed to defend and how we needed to rebound, and that's really carried over from that second half to what we've done here at home.
You start off this past week hosting Lake Erie for the first time ever in Big Rapids on Thursday night. A very even first half, but second half your guys really took control.
And I was leery of that game. Lake Erie is far better than their 3-10 record in the conference. Very good athletes at a lot of positions. And that first half, we just didn't have it. I can't explain it to you. Sometimes that happens in team sports. But after some adjustments at halftime and coming out and playing with a lot more energy, we were able to really take it to them in that second half and build a nice lead.
Kenny Brown, another outstanding game shooting the basketball, 29 points in that contest, but you got some nice contributions from others as well. Dietrich Lever with a career-high 19 points.
That was great to see. You know, Kenny was very efficient that game. He shot almost 65%. And then Dietrich Lever, who's really been coming on as a freshman point guard, had a huge game and really, I think, carried that momentum swing for us all the way through.
As we move to Saturday's game, Thursday night's win for the Bulldogs, a big win. You move to Saturday, taking on Ashland at home, and as we go to the highlights of that, another big win, 87-66. You got up early and never really were threatened much in the game.
That was great to see. You know, in that game, we really wanted to talk a lot about pushing the basketball up the floor early because I thought we could really get to them in transition and get it to the basket attacking-wise. And again, we had a number of guys just really go to the basket hard. Here's 2 back-to-back 3-point plays by Kenny Brown there and Danny Sutherland earlier. And, man, that set the tone.
Kenny Brown, another big game, 24 points in this contest and really shooting the ball with a lot of confidence.
He really is. And, you know, I think he's the first to say that a lot of those passes and plays that he's making because we're able to move the ball offensively, and we're doing a way better job of that.
Jarrell Sanders, a couple of baskets in a row, and he had a big game as well with 14 points and several rebounds as well for you.
Jarrell's just doing a great job of now getting himself in the post. You know, Danny Sutherland's doing the same thing. There's Danny on a really big take to the basket. And, man, that helps so much to have some active post play and getting inside baskets. Again,
this finishes off a 5-game homestand and unbeaten at home, and had some nice crowds during that homestand, and really a great testament to your players to be able to finish off that 5-game homestand unbeaten.
It was, and it was exciting just that, you know, every game I thought we really had a great student body environment where the students are coming out and cheering us on, and you know how much of an impact that makes is so huge for our players. You just can't thank enough the students enough for coming out and cheering us on.
See, Dante Molden had a big game offensively, 20 points, and knocked down 6 3-point shots.
He did, you know, and that's probably the best surprise and the most wonderful thing that we've seen come into this year is Dante has really picked this game up offensively. Just doing a great job of finding open shots and then making them. And he's playing with tremendous amount of confidence right now.
He was one player maybe overshadowed last year by the 4 seniors you had, but has really stepped up and been a leader for this team.
Well, I think that's his best attribute, and we've talked a lot with Dante about that. You know, he's only as good as he leads us to where we want to go. And he's done a great job not only with the freshmen, picking them up, but then really setting the tone for our upperclassmen and how we're going to play and how we're going to, you know, really compete.
With this win, you hold on to a 2-game lead in the GLIAC North Division standings with 4 games left in the regular season, and a good place to be right now with what you had coming into the season.
It really is. I mean, we're playing really good basketball right now. You know, you just saw just a tremendous block there by Jarrell Sanders. You know, we've really picked up the pace on the defensive end. You know, able to really get to the glass, make easy shots difficult for other teams, and then rebounding's really stepped up as well.
It's a chance here in both of these games to get some other kids some playing time towards the end of the ball game, and that's something that'll be important for the future.
Oh, absolutely, and that's so nice to have the guys that sometimes don't get into games have the ability to go play and finish out. I mean, it's always nice to be able to get out there and play. And last clip you saw Dan Chilcote make a shot. You know, Dan's really done some great things for us this year too. Just kind of got to wait your time as a freshman to really get in there and be involved.
This week you hit the road 4 of 4 games left here in the regular season, 3 of them on the road, and all against great competition in the GLIAC. Talk about this week as you head to Wayne State on Thursday night and to Findlay on Saturday.
Well, we're playing 2 teams with great tradition, top teams in the league, well coached. It's down to this point where you have to be able to win those games. I mean, you want to play in big games, and that's any team, but you have to also win the big games to get to be able to play in the bigger games. And, our focus is very good right now, but the challenges ahead of us, we really have to play probably as well and work as hard as we can to be able to be in those games in that hostile environment.
As you look at the Wayne State game first on Thursday night, a team that's always well coached and plays well defensively, and you had a chance to play them 3 times last year, and including both in the GLIAC tournament and in the NCAA tournament. Talk about how they've played this season.
They've played very well. They're just a physical team that really can get the ball inside. A couple of their bigger players returning from last year have really contributed immensely. It's just going to be a physical battle. And we have to be ready to step up, especially at their place, and really be able to take that physicality that they're going to give to us and match it.
You go on Saturday to play at Croy Gymnasium down in Findlay, Ohio, and they've won 74 straight conference games at home. What does it take to knock off Findlay on Saturday at Croy Gymnasium?
Well, thanks for reminding me about that, Robert, that they've won 74 in a row at home in the conference. It's obviously the toughest place to play in the league. A great fan base, and they just play tremendously hard at home. So again, we have some good experience with some guys that have been in some of those situations. They're going to have to guide our freshmen through and say, hey, this is what GLIAC basketball is all about, and every play and every possession is so important.
Your final home game next Wednesday night against Hillsdale on February the 22nd. Final chance for your seniors to play at home in the regular season, but hopefully, depending on this final 4 games, another chance maybe in the postseason to play at home. Absolutely.
We're playing for a lot of things right now, and that's, again, in February what you want to be able to do. So we have to really focus in, and again, our mantra has been the whole time, take one at a time. And again, that's what we're going to try to do, not look too far ahead, but also understand we're playing for lots of things.
How special has this year been as you were one of the favorites last year going in, and obviously had a great season last year with the guys you had, but coming back this year, picked a little bit lower, but your kids right now, first place with 4 games left.
Well, it's been great. It's been fun to see the development of everybody, from the freshmen we talked about, Lever, Lehman, Trent Messer, to seeing some of these players that play quite a bit, Molden, Jarrell Sanders, Danny Sutherland, Kenny Brown, really take that next step, being kind of from the complementary player to a player that's a starter and you really count on. And so that development's been outstanding, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
As you look at the schedule, your team's been very, very good at home. What does it take to carry that over and be able to win on the road?
We've been so far fairly successful on the road as well, and it's just taking that same mentality. Now you're going to a hostile environment. Do you have the ability to go out there and really, and I think that's the biggest thing, is a team, really go out there and play as a team. When that happens and you're all riding for each other, it makes a world of difference.
And Coach, best of luck as you head to Wayne State on Thursday, Findlay on Saturday, and then back at home next week.
Thanks so much, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.